You coming in.
All right, sir.
I don't know if I want to talk to you.
I first saw you when you had a video going out to Dade Collier, Alligator Alley, because I used to fly and train pilots in and out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So it got me interested.
Oh yeah, you called on. I remember you called on. You called on Friday. Yeah.
A lot longer than you.
Yeah, you called on Friday. I remember.
I've been with Trump a lot longer than you, son. How old are you?
I'm not. Excuse me.
Come on now. How old are you?
I will answer your question. However,
I'm 65 years old, and you doubted that I was with Pan Am.
I said that if you flew with Pan Am, you're old. You're revealing your age.
I'm 65 years old, sir, and I flew
Yeah.
from 85 to
Well, I gotta tell you, if you were this hot-headed in the cockpit, my goodness.
I wasn't at all. I was very kind.
Most pilots. Excuse me. Most pilots. Hold on a second here. Most pilots I've known are calm, cool, and collected. You're out of control. What's the matter with you?
Sir. I agree with everything you're saying.
Why are you so out of control? All right, listen. What did you call me about today? To whine?
Well, initially I wanted to make sure that you hit the right point. First of all,
first off, excuse me. It's not up to you to decide what are the right points to hit on. It's not up for you to decide what the right points for me to talk about are.
AOC is a fleshy hand child.
Well, I'll tell you what you are. You're a child. You're an out of control. You're an out of control man who's got a lot of anger issues, and you've got a lot of hostility. I want to answer your first question. You asked
hypocrites on the left, sir.
if you don't stop talking, I'm going to hang up on you.
Go on.
Okay? You are an out of control lunatic. You don't sound like a sane man. You sound like a madman running through the streets. Oh, there you go. Class act. Yeah? Oh, he hung up. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Does that guy sound MAGA to you? Does he sound like a MAGA guy to you? Does he sound like a guy we want in our movement? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. One thing I've known pilots in my life, and one thing about pilots that I've noticed, especially those that fly jets and fighters and commercial airlines, like he says that he's done, they are calm, cool, and collected. They're not raving lunatics, okay? And Pan Am has long since retired. When did they go out of service? Would you want to fly on an aeroplane flown by that guy as your pilot? Would you? Heck no. I would not want to fly on an airplane with that guy in the cockpit. There's no way. There's no way. You want someone that's calm, cool, and collected under pressure. Oh my goodness. That doesn't fly off the handle and can handle stress. That guy couldn't even handle stress. He hung up. Used some profanities and hung up. Hopefully he's not flying these days. He's certainly not flying with Pan Am because they've been out of business for a long time. I never got to fly Pan Am. I always wanted to, but I got to fly Eastern Airlines. I flew Eastern Airlines a bunch of times. All right, Sam, I've got 5 seconds. Welcome to the program. It's Monday morning already. Can you believe it? My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. If you missed the pre-show on YouTube, oh my goodness. I just had an exchange with one of our listeners who just completely lost his mind. Oh my God. You see, you guys got to listen to me on YouTube, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. This guy, woo-wee. They are triggered today. All right, welcome. We've got a lot to talk about on today's program. A lot, because it's been a very busy news weekend. Number one, we have won the war in Iraq, and that's not President Trump making that claim. It's not me making that claim. It's the Iranians that are making the claim that we have won the war. I'm going to talk about this. And I've got a lot of other things to cover as well. And Iranian state television, which is still on the air, they had one of their anchors on Iranian state television. So this is an official sanctioned broadcast of the Islamic Republic of Iran. It's an official sanctioned on-air personality from Iran. And he said this is being widely reported by Fox and many others around the world. An Islamic Republic Iranian state TV host openly said on television, on Iranian state television, that even if the United States occupied southern Iran, the world would not end. Those are his words. And you know what that's about. They are foreshadowing not just a U.S. ground operation. That's an admission that they can't do anything about it. That they not only can they not repel the invasion, if we are invading, we don't know that there's going to be a ground invasion or not. The president has not told us that. He won't take anything off the table, but we do not know. There could be, and there also could be a land invasion by Muslim countries, which is probably more likely. But what Iranian state television is saying is that if the United States invades Iran, they cannot do anything about it. And they're foreshadowing to their people, preparing them for them losing a chunk of their country. In southern Iran is the part where they launch all their harassment against the tankers, right? So that is a 100% admission that we have won the war, that their military has been devastated, that they cannot repel invaders, and that if we do invade, they're not going to be able to do anything about it, and it will be a successful invasion and occupation. Now, if that's not an admission that we've won, I don't know what is. That is a confession from the Iranians are saying this now. The Iranians. But of course, the American left want to go around saying, we lost. And why is that? It's because the liberals are a bunch of anti-American, hate America first crowd losers. And they cannot handle the idea of America winning any year, especially years that Donald Trump is president of the United States. And this story, while it is being picked up worldwide, I hope it becomes a trending story today, because it is an admission that we've won, that Trump won, that the campaign has been a success. Now, sadly, we lost another U.S. Soldier yesterday, so we have lost, 17 now. Now, every loss is awful, but 17 is not that bad considering the size and complexities of this conflict. And unfortunately, it's a sad thing, unfortunately, losing personnel in a war is sadly part of it, right? It's part of it. But this is a very minimal casualty count, isn't it? Considering we're taking on what the media and the world were presenting as a superpower 6 months ago. If you go up against a major superpower, you don't lose 17, you lose 17,000, right? Yeah. So while our prayers go out to those who were lost and their families, you got to admit that the casualty count is incredibly low considering the size and hostilities that are going on. And and I've been watching the last day or so. We had 9 nights of hardcore bombings of Iran. And we're taking out everything. What they have now is military equipment that didn't get blown up, and was scattered around the country after the initial air campaign, and they've regrouped it. Some of it's probably repaired from things that were damaged in explosions but wasn't destroyed. And there is some thoughts and rumors that maybe the Chinese and the Russians are sneaking some weapons in. That we don't know. Okay, we don't know that for sure. But what I'm watching is just massive devastation. We're blowing up pretty much every bridge in Iran. We're targeting their army directly, which we were not doing in the beginning. And we're doing a lot of mop-up of things that didn't explode that when we were blowing up other things at military bases and such around Iran. But when Iran goes on television and tells their people that, hey, if there's an American occupation of the southern border, that's okay, it's fine. Doesn't that indicate to you that they've lost, that they don't have the ability to do it? Because the way they've been talking until this dropped is they're going to repel them, we're going to blow them up here, we're going to be in New York, we're going to be in Washington, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And this is an admission, this is a confession that they can't do anything about it, that we are in control. And I'll tell you another thing, this massive air campaign, they haven't shot anything down. They're talking about new weapons and new rockets. Yeah, whatever. They haven't shot down our air attack, our planes, our rockets. They haven't shot anything down. So we have complete air superiority, and now we find out that we have ground superiority if we choose to invade. Not that we are going to invade. We'll find out. I mean, the president, I think, is, for the most part, opposed to a ground invasion. So we're going to talk about that and much more. There is a lot to cover on the program today, a lot. So I'm going to go through quite a bit on today's show, and your calls and thoughts most definitely are welcome. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, no matter where you are tuned in from. Also this thing that the Democrats have a lot of problems. They've been overtaken by foreign influence and Muslims who are on another planet right now. I'm also going to get into that and a bunch of other stuff too. But first, I want to talk about Jamie LeeZep over at Swift Tax. Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax. What he can do for you is absolutely amazing. First off, he can handle your taxes no matter where you're located in the United States. And not just individual taxes, but also your business taxes. Those of you that are business owners, or you're a 1099 employee, or maybe you're part of the gig economy, maybe you drive for Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or one of those things, Instacart, you need an accountant, and that accountant's Jamie LeeZep. But if you miss the filing deadline this year, don't worry. Call Jamie LeeZep. He'll take care of it for you. If there are other years you have not filed your taxes, don't worry. Let Jamie LeeZep take care of it for you. I'm going to give you his number in a moment. If you owe back taxes, even if you've settled with the IRS already, call Jamie LeeZep. He'll review it for you. If you've not made an arrangement with the IRS and you're worried about those certified letters and wage garnishments and such from the IRS, call Jamie LeeZep. He'll take care of all of it for you. All right? His number rings directly to Jamie LeeZep, so you can call or text 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587 for Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax. We'll be right back. All right, we're clear. So give me a yes or no, guys. Does this admission by the Iranian state television that they can't repel an invasion or an occupation and to prepare for it, and it's no big deal, yes or no, is that an admission that we've devastated their military and won? Tell me yes or no in the chat. I'm curious what you guys think, and you're certainly welcome to call about that as well. All right, and the number is pinned in the live chat. Okay, I just got to do something. I'm just looking something up that I'm going to talk about. Okay, hold on one second. Hold on, because I'm going to move into another story too on top of this, but I've got so much to cover. Oh my goodness. Okay. Got a big story when we get back. Whew. This is really frightening. Really frightening. All right, hang in there. Let me see what time we are going to be back. Okay. We'll be back. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We're still in radio break. Yeah, and by the way, those of you that are new, welcome to the program. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and subscribe. If you're already subscribed, thanks, and please like the video, because when you guys like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So please like the video. So here's the question on the table. Iranian state television admitting that a U.S. occupation of southern Iran is not the end of the world, which is telling us they can't repel an invasion, they cannot do anything about it, and if we take over the southern part of their country, that's it. They can't repel us. They're not even going to fight it, that it's okay. Yes or no? Is that an admission by the Iranians that Trump has won, that the United States has won and Iran has lost? Yes or no? I mean, why else would they tell their people that on Iranian state television? I can't think of another reason. Okay. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. We're still in radio break. That's right. And you're all welcome to call in, regardless of your opinion. You know, whether you agree or disagree, all opinions are welcome. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You're welcome. It's a toll-free number no matter where you are tuned in at, and you're welcome to call in regardless of your background, okay? All opinions are always welcome on this program. That guy, that airline pilot, right before the radio show began, what an unhinged lunatic. I mean, he's a snowflake, a 65-year-old snowflake. Yeah, we got about 50 seconds. Let me see here. When did it Pan Am? When did Pan Am stop flying? Let me look it up real quick. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back shortly. 91. 91. So it was 35 years ago. So he was like 30? Okay. 10 seconds. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, man, it's John. How are you? Got a question for you.
You asked. Well, first, you already asked a question. You said, "How are you?" You didn't let me. I'm doing well, thank you.
Well, that's good. Hey, when Lindsey Graham died, is it true there was a guy in the house with him?
Why would you say something like that about a man who just passed away? I mean, what kind of person are you?
Because he's a closet homosexual.
No, in fact, not only was he not closeted or any other kind. Now I'm sorry to challenge you here, but what we found out is the reason that he has not gotten married over the years. I learned some things about Lindsey Graham that he hung up. The guy hung up. Well, I'll finish what I was saying, then I'll respond to that caller. I found out things I didn't know about Lindsey Graham after he passed away. One, he was not a corrupt senator like Schumer and these others that are worth tens of millions of dollars. And I did not know that his parents died when he was 21, and he adopted his daughter, or his sister, made her his daughter, and raised her. And Lindsey Graham did not marry because he was dedicated to being a father to his sister that he adopted. And it's unfortunate that last guy hung up, but I think him thinking that Lindsey Graham is gay sometimes makes him, somehow makes that caller feel that the way he lives his life is okay. And it's amazing to me, because you could tell by his voice, that was an older guy. It's amazing how many older men are snowflakes, right? in the last, in the last 25 minutes, I've heard from two men, both of them older, that guy and then the airline pilot, right before 6 a.m. Both of them, the airline pilot said he was 65 years old. He's probably a little older than that, but he said he was 65. This guy here was in his 50s or 60s. Both of them got hysterical with me during the phone call, and both of them hung up. They couldn't take the heat. Snowflakes. I didn't hang up on that last caller or the airline pilot right before 6 a.m. We have a lot of older millennials. These are like Antifa types. So your thoughts on what I shared with you about Iran in the first segment certainly are welcome at 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. There's another story out there that is really shocking about the Haitians of Springfield, Ohio. Have you heard this? There was a report that's circulating that 80% of the Haitians of Springfield, Ohio are missing, that they have fled. Here's a local news report interviewing people in Springfield. 80. Okay, so 80%, according to this report, 80% of the Haitians of excuse me, I'm a little choked up here thinking about the Haitians of Springfield. 80% of the Haitians of Springfield have gone missing. They fled, and they fled fearing deportation after the Supreme Court ruling that their temporary protective status was expired. Now, of course, the cats of Springfield, Ohio are rejoicing, the ones that are left. But where are they? And I looked up the estimation of the number of Haitians that the Otto Penn Biden administration moved to Springfield, Ohio was 10 to 15,000. Some say 10, some say 15,000. So 80% of that is like about 12,000. So 12,000 Haitians are on the run in this country. 12,000 Haitians are on the lam. Where are they? Where did they go? It's pretty scary, isn't it? And they are, not only are they on the run, 12,000 Haitians from Springfield are on the run. They did not self-deport. They did not go back to Haiti. If 12,000 Haitians went back, first off, no one goes back to Haiti, okay? And if 12,000 Haitians went back to Haiti, you'd know it because they got to go over the water and everything. So I'm sure Tom Homan is on this, as is Mark Wayne Mullen. But that's a lot of wanted people. 12,000 Haitians on the run. Pretty scary when you think about it. Fugitives. They're fugitives. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Doc from Texas.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, man. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well.
That's good. Good. Okay. This situation was going on with Iran.
Well, that's right. I thought you would call in and say something about your meltdown when you called me on my program yesterday morning. But you just want to ignore that?
Brian. That was yesterday.
Really?
That was yesterday.
You had a major break from me.
I did not have a meltdown.
Oh, the way you were speaking yesterday, I've never heard you speak that way.
Could I call your name?
You used some terrible. No, you used some of the worst. You used some of the worst profanity in the English language to me yesterday when you called me on Sunday.
Your feelings got hurt. I'm sorry.
No, I just think we got to see the real you. All right.
I'm sorry. Your feelings got hurt.
Well, no, people can go back and listen to that. The people heard it. All right. What's on your mind today?
What's on my mind today is the situation. First of all, I want to say congratulations to the Vice President and his wife for having to help this young son.
Yes.
And one thing, too, Another thing, the situation with Iran has got completely out of hand, and I don't even know no more.
Out of hand?
We might as well go in. You said, when Trump said, "Oh, we defeated them. They don't have nothing left." I say they have something left, Brian.
No, the Iranians are saying that they cannot repel a U.S. invasion or occupation of southern Iran. So the Iranians are admitting that they've been defeated.
They have been defeated. They saying it. Do you think we'll have ground invasion? Do you think we'll have a ground invasion?
I couldn't understand what you just said. It was kind of gibberish. What'd you say?
You think we're going to have a ground invasion?
Oh, I don't know. But the Iranians are afraid of it, and they went on national television on Iranian state TV and said, if there is, we can't do anything about it.
That could be the worst thing we could ever do, have a ground invasion.
Mm-hmm.
We need to. I know J.D. Vance has had a baby, and he said that he's going to take some time off, but he's still going to be working.
So yeah, so think about this. So the vice president, this is the first vice president who's had a child while in office, and the child is biracial, not white. You think that minority organizations will applaud this? People like you that call the Trump administration racist, are you guys going to stand up and say that they're not racist? They're having interracial children at the White House now.
Brian.
Doc.
J.D. Vance, Brian. Again, I'm happy they had a child. It's all good. But let's talk about Iran.
Well, no. You guys on the left often say that the Trump administration don't like non-white people. J.D. Vance just had a child, just had a son who's not white.
I'll put you like this. Let J.D. Vance take his children and his wife to one of these pure white states and these pure white counties, and they'll see how they treat them. They can't stand that woman, Brian. And I hate to say
the only people I hear say negative things about J.D. Vance and his wife are liberal people. Everybody loves them on the right.
Brian, I want people like you, Brian. I love them. I don't have no problem with J.D. All the problem is, I wish you would be.
Well, if the Trump J.D. Vance administration were racist and didn't like people that were not white, why is J.D. Vance married to a non-white woman and having non-white children?
Because she's his wife. He loves her.
So that means he's not a racist.
I'm not. Yes, he can be one.
How can a racist be in love with a non-white person? What kind of racist is in love with a non-white woman?
Oh, you'd be surprised, Brian. You'd be surprised.
Come on. Doesn't that kind of cancel it out?
Color on for a minute and you will see it, Brian. Trust me. If
they have 4 children together, and she's as non-white as you are.
Brian, please. He can be racist.
Don't you feel stupid?
No, I don't. Stop telling me that.
Okay.
Okay. Let's finish this. Okay. He needs to send JD over there. Don't send his son-in-law and the other guy, because they're not doing nothing. Mm-hmm. Send JD because they like JD. Mm-hmm. Get him over there and sit them down and say, look, let's just come to agreement. Let's stop this craziness.
Yeah.
Trump, you need to. Poor baby, I feel so bad for him yesterday on that stage that he didn't know what to do. They was booing him. It was booing him yesterday. He looks bad.
Who looks bad? Who looks bad?
Trump looks bad.
Trump looked great. Trump looked fantastic. Trump looked fantastic.
No, he doesn't, man. He looks tired. He looks weak.
Well, he's running the world.
And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
Wouldn't you be tired if you were running the world, sleeping 3 hours a day?
I would.
Okay. Well, that's him. Okay. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. Oh my goodness. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour, but first I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Oh man, it is hurricane season in Florida. You see this tropical storm they're getting up in the Panhandle? It's hurricane season in Florida. If you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof, you want to call Tom Laporta and get it taken care of. You know, Tom Laporta is not just a roofer. He's also a contractor, and under Florida law, that allows Tom Laporta to deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of the replacement or the repair of your roof. That speeds things up a lot. It really does. It covers both the east and west coast of Florida, from the Atlantic Ocean to the Gulf of America and everywhere in between, all right? And he works on every type of structure, residential, commercial, and municipal, works with every type of roofing material as well. And he can handle the job of any size, whether it's one office building, one municipal building, one home, or an HOA or office complex with over 500 units. He can handle the job of any size. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. Give him a call or text 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. If you're on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this. All right, callers on hold, don't go anywhere, all right? Going to take some calls after the break. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why do you believe what you believe? Not your opinions, not your politics, not even your religion. The deeper question is this: what worldview is actually running your life? The model running your life from author Eric Klein, available on Amazon, explores how our beliefs are shaped, not just by facts, but by our experiences, emotions, culture, and the influences we often don't even recognize. Blending biblical truth with philosophy, neuroscience, psychology, and even modern artificial intelligence concepts, this fascinating and must-read book challenges readers to examine the hidden assumptions that drive every decision they make. If you're looking for a book that will stretch your thinking, strengthen your faith, and pursue truth with greater clarity and humility, Worldview, the model running your life, belongs on your reading list. Discover the questions that can change the way you see everything. Worldview, the model running your life, from author Eric Klein. Order your copy right now on Amazon. All right, we'll be back in just over 1 minute. I'll go to the phone, so if you're on hold, stand by. Please, everyone, like the video. When you like the video, it helps so much. It gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found my channel. So please like the video. And those of you that are new, welcome. I'm here 7 days a week, every morning, taking live calls, and most afternoons during the week as well. All right, we got less than a minute. And if you'd like to call in, the number's toll free. It's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, no matter where you're listening. 30 seconds, we'll be back. The men that have been calling me today are unhinged lunatics. That's 3 in a row. Nuts. The airline pilot, that other guy about Lindsey Graham, and Doc. Doc is just, they're all nuts. I don't get it. Why are they so upset? What did I say? All right, 10 seconds, guys. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi. Good morning, Brian. Danielle with Michigan.
Hey,
Good
what's
morning.
up? All right.
Yeah, couple quick comments. No, I don't really believe that they're going to be introducing any big ground troops. And number two, We can't really believe anything that Iran puts out in what they say, in my opinion. Number three, Doc always calls in and wants to call it a situation. You know, war is hell, and it's unfortunate that we've just lost some of our brave servicemen and women. And, you know, this is a situation that has to be taken care of once and for all.
Yeah.
You know, people can't just expect, you know, this is just going to be bim bam. I mean, we're in the process, we're in the end game of this, most likely. And, you know, Brian, I don't ever like to mention other shows, but I know that you're on Newsmax. And
Yep.
I happen to listen to Blaine Holt, Tony Schaefer, KT McFarland,
Yep.
Victoria Coates, and a lot of other information, and you're number one.
Thank you.
But, you know, yeah, I mean, this is just something that has to, you know, unfortunately, we have to go through this. We have to get this done and over with, and we will. And my other last point is I just really trust what 45 is doing, 45, 46, and 47. I trust what he's doing and the people that are, you know, in his administration. So I think we just kind of have to...
Well, think about it. When have we been involved in a... When have we been involved in a major country's conflict where we've only lost 17? You know, and you know, while you can't believe the Iranians, what the guy said on state television about a U.S. ground invasion is them preparing. It's propagandists preparing their people for what could happen. They're very, you know, they wouldn't go on TV and say, oh, if they occupy southern Iran, it's no big deal. They would that shows weakness, and they would not show weakness to their own people if they weren't in a bad state.
They're in a bad state, and they're, you know, some have already reported a soft coup already starting to happen. You know, the people of Iran, they're going to rise up. I mean, these people deserve. They've been dealing with this for 47 years.
Yep.
Try to imagine what it would be like living in this country.
Oh yeah.
Under what they've had to endure. They're willing to die for their country, stand up for their country, and do what they need to do to get freedom. And they know that freedom is at the grasp right now of their hands, that they're going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, you know, like for Doc, you know, like, come on, Doc, we got to get through this. He wants to act like Trump's a failure. And people keep saying that Trump started this war. President Trump didn't start this war. President Trump is ending this.
No, Jimmy Carter started this war. Jimmy Carter started this war, and every other president between Jimmy Carter and Trump allowed Iran to do whatever they wanted to do, and President Trump's ending the longest war we've been in.
That is correct. That is correct, Brian. You need to make that clear every single day, especially when Doc calls. This is a war that has been going on for decades.
Well, look, I mean, listen to the stupidity out of Doc. Doc here is saying J.D. Vance is a racist, yet he just had his fourth non-white child with his non-white wife, but he's still a racist who hates non-white people. I mean, when somebody says something so ridiculous, you know, I mean, how can you have
It's getting old, Doc. Hey, Doc, the racist comments, you know, this is...
Did you hear Doc's call to me on my Sunday morning show?
I missed it.
Oh, yeah, you guys got to go back and listen to that. He really, you will hear Doc in a way you've never heard him before. I was in shock at the way he was speaking. What happened is he lost control of himself, and then he said, well, you know, this is just on YouTube. You're not online, so I can talk this way. No, it was a burst of out of control anger towards me. Like, I couldn't believe what he said to me. I was in shock. I thought he was a liberal, but a gentleman. But it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, inappropriate. The left is unhinged. The left is coming unhinged. They'll continue to be unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I don't feel that there's going to be any ground troops whatsoever.
We'll find out. All right. Listen, Danielle, appreciate the call from Michigan. You. Oh, by the way, by the way, this guy Ahmed in Michigan's freaking me out. You got this Muslim guy named Ahmed running for Senate.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, AOC was just here over the weekend apparently. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a scary one. I'll be out.
He is scary. He is scary. All right, take care.
Very scary.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, he is a scary guy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Renee from Harlem.
Hey, Renee, what's up?
I have to give your White Power Hour a shout out. First of all, I hope the simp that's in the White House is ready for another 20-year war, because that's what they're going to be going in for.
You mean that's what you're hoping for?
No, that's what's going to happen.
Do you want the United States? Do you want the United States to win the war with Iran?
I don't want them to be involved at all.
No, but do you want us to win? Do you want the United States or Iran to win? Who do you want to win?
They shouldn't be there at all.
I understand, but who do you want to win? We're there. So who do you want to win? The U.S. or Iran?
Iran.
Okay. Hear that?
You
He just said he wants Iran to win the war. You know, that's treason. You're committing treason, Renee, in Harlem. Yeah, that's treason.
You are an invading idiot.
That is treason, what you just said. Why would you want Iran to win? Yeah, for them to win, Americans got to die. Why would you want Iran to win against us?
They hate the traitors too, right? They've been eating all the cats and dogs.
Why would you want Iran to win against the United States?
Because it's their own country, stupid.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Treason. That is treason.
No, it's defending their own country, you idiot.
So if let me ask you this, 12,000 Haitians, hold on a second, Renee. 12,000 Haitians, I got a question for you. 12,000 Haitians are on the run, have fled from Springfield. If some of the Haitians come to your house in Harlem, will you hide them from Tom Homan and ICE if they come to your house?
Absolutely.
Oh, so you would hide federal fugitives?
Federal fugitives? Listen to you.
That they are. They're on the run.
You're the kind of person that would have been turning over runaway slaves.
So you are harboring federal fugitives from justice, and you want Iran to win the war against us. I mean, what's the matter with you?
To your daughter's father.
All right, Renee. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, we're getting a lot of honesty here on the phones today. You know, the calls that I've taken in the last 45, 50 minutes, I've talked to, 5 men have called me. I forgot, the first one was, so I've had 5 men call me. The last 4 have been liberals. Every single one of them has been consumed with rage, incredibly angry, and saying crazy things. Did you see who was with President Trump yesterday? Did you see? Mike Lindell. That's right, the MyPillow man. Mike Lindell, the inventor of the MyPillow, was with the president yesterday, and the president was praising him, saying he was with me from the beginning. He absolutely was. And, you know, right now at MyPillow.com, the mega sale is going on. With our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, there are huge, massive savings at MyPillow.com. You can get some of the best deals I've ever seen at MyPillow.com on some of the most popular products. And I'll tell you, the MyPillow 100% Giza Dream Sheets are less than $30 with our promo code KANE at checkout during the Mega 2 sale. And because they're made of 100% Giza cotton, they're temperature regulating. So in these hot summer months, you're cool and comfortable like you've got an air conditioning in your bed all hot summer long. And during the winter, they keep you warm and toasty. You could use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, on all the specials at MyPillow.com. Huge deals. You can get the premium MyPillows for less than $20 right now. Just huge deals with our promo code KANE at checkout. Remember, Mike Lindell's running for the governor of Minnesota. He was just endorsed by the president last week. He's number 1 in the polls right now in Minnesota. And when you use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, not only are you supporting the great Mike Lindell, you're supporting our program as well. So it's promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, KANE. We'll take our last break of the first hour and be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, we have less than a minute. We'll be back, so hang in there. Oh, man. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free. It's pinned in the live chat. In a word, how would you describe these men that have called me today? All out of control and hysterical? Oh, man. Yeah, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. And please, everyone, like the video. When you like the video, it gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. After the show today, I'm heading off to get my testosterone checked. We have a new sponsor coming on the show soon, and I'm going to get my testosterone checked today. Welcome back, everyone. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian. Let's go. Oh, hold on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joe in San Antonio, Texas.
Joe in Texas. What's up, Joe in Texas?
Not much. I was curious, what's the debate about?
Well, have you been listening or watching the program? We've been talking about, hold on, we've been talking about a lot of things, including Iran's admission that President Trump and the United States have won the war, among other things.
Okay. I have my thoughts if you want to hear them.
Sure, why not?
I don't believe red and blue actually hate each other. I think it's something that's propaganda and put together. It's ironic that red and blue make purple, which is the color of royalty. I think higher powers pull the strings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going on, and this is all just to keep everybody divided.
Yeah. Well, the Democrat, the higher power, you mean God?
Not necessarily God. I think
really?
people in positions
Have you
of
ever
power
been,
that
let me
are
ask you
higher
this,
than
have you ever been in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous?
I don't drink.
I didn't ask you that. Have you ever been in it?
Well, no.
Okay. Well, it took you. You didn't just say that. The reason I ask is because the AA people are always talking about higher power. Do you believe in
yeah.
So that's why I asked. Have you been to some type of support group that's based on the steps?
Oh, I'm sure it works for people.
No. Have you been to any type of support group that uses those steps?
Oh, no.
Okay, just
when I say higher power, I mean.
Well, you didn't say not God. So
do
do you believe in Jesus?
Yes.
You accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior?
Yes.
So when you say higher power, what higher power is there other than God who sent Jesus?
Well, I meant in reference to what the topic is.
No, you said a higher power. So if you accept Jesus as your Savior, okay, I asked you first earlier, by higher power you mean God. You said not necessarily. So what other higher power other than the God who sent Jesus is out there? What higher power could it be that you're referencing?
The powerful families that pull the strings.
Oh, who are they? Are they Jewish families by chance?
No, I'm not racist. The Rothschilds, the typical things you hear.
The Jewish
the ones
families.
Who run the banking.
Yeah.
What's that?
Jewish families that run the banking and what else?
Well, I mean, it's all of them. I mean, the Queen of England and what they
The
have.
Queen's dead. There is no Queen. There is no Queen of England.
Right, but
she's dead.
She still lives on. I mean,
she still lives on.
She's dead, but it's.
Oh my goodness.
Still the
Pathetic.
family's there, the bloodline.
Yeah, pathetic. Did you vote for President Trump?
I don't believe in voting. I don't.
You don't believe in voting? Are you able to vote, or have your civil rights been suspended? Do you have the legal right to vote?
No, I'm not. I'm not a sheep. The government lies.
So you've
Trump
never,
is actually
hold on a
telling
second
you.
here. Hold on a second. Have you ever voted
No,
in your whole life? Are you?
I'm not sheep.
I heard that already.
I
You're
am
not
not
sheep.
a sheep.
Yeah, I know. So you don't participate. You just sit around and whine. You don't
No, I don't
participate.
even whine about it.
No, you're
I
whining
tried
now.
it No, I'm not whining. I have not whined once.
Yeah, sure. You know, oh, they lie, the
Not whining.
Rothschilds,
I try to
the
open-
higher
I try to
power.
open people's mind.
You don't open up anyone's mind.
Well, I mean, being just blindly followed by the government. Who
Are
obviously,
you a married man?
Yes,
You're currently married.
currently married.
How long have you been married?
8 years.
Really? What do you and your wife do for a living?
I'm actually a private driver and professional poker player.
A professional poker player? Really?
She,
You're a professional
she's a
poker
matchmaker.
player. Okay, a professional poker player. And what does your wife
Huh?
do?
She's in matchmaking.
What does that mean?
It's a high end, and people think escort right away, but it's not.
So you're a
It's not.
professional
It's for
poker
higher-
player and your wife's a madam?
No, she's a matchmaker. She pairs people
Really?
that are on a higher level. Yeah.
So
she
so
matches
your
instead of them
wife,
being
let me
bigger.
get this straight. Your wife is a matchmaker and she matched herself with
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
hmm
That's great. Okay. So how you actually that's good. Okay. I don't think being matched
because
I don't think her matching herself with you is a good endorsement for her services. It sounds like an anti-match.
Is this because I said I don't believe in red and blue and that they work together behind the
No, I
scenes?
think you're a self-important narcissist who thinks you're better and smarter than everybody else. And I don't know what kind of woman would match herself to a narcissist like you and take a vow to spend their life with a narcissist like you. You think you're smarter than everyone else.
I don't think I'm smarter than everyone else.
You're smarter than most,
just
though, right?
think
You think you're smarter than most people, right? Because
not necessarily.
most people vote. Most people take a
they do,
position and vote, and most of the people who vote Trump. So you're smarter and more enlightened than most of the population by your statements.
That's due to propaganda. This is
No.
going on
But see, but you
forever.
see what no one else sees. So few people see
nothing
that
to
what
do
you
with-
see. What's it? Let me.
Right.
I'm very interested in this. What's it like to be smarter than most Americans?
Never said I was.
Yeah,
A lot
sure.
of people are waking
Sure.
up.
No. Most people vote that are grown adult American
Yes.
citizens, and most who vote Trump. And the ones that don't, well, but they vote Democrat. So if most people are voting, but you understand it's a waste of time and stupid and a manipulation, that means you're smarter than them. You're more enlightened than the majority of the people. That's why I say
am
you're.
aware of what the.
Oh, yeah. See, that's why I say you're a narcissist.
Yeah. Well, how does that make me a narcissist? That I am just more
Most
aware.
because
and I can see the
because
bigger
because you
picture.
think that you are better and smarter than most of the people in the United States. That means
So
you're a
with all the
self-centered
lies,
narcissist.
corruption, how could you not even take it as a possibility with all the lies, corruption, and everything
Yeah.
else that there may be something that's not
Yeah.
legit about everything?
I know. It's interesting. So you're telling me that a matchmaker, I mean, what kind of matchmaker would match themselves to a narcissist?
Why are you off topic?
I'm the host of the show. I decide what the topics are. See, again, more narcissism. You
Oh.
think you just come in and command the conversation? More narcissism.
No, I called in just to talk about really how I think red and blue
Yeah,
makes up
I,
for
me. Yeah, that's another more narcissistic behavior. Hey, listen, God bless your wife for putting up with you. Take care, all right? Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Brian from San Francisco, California.
Hold on one second here. All right. Go ahead, San Francisco. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind is that how a rope is made?
How a woke?
One little piece.
How what is
rope.
made?
Like,
A rope?
A rope.
No, I don't know. I don't know how to
Yeah.
make rope. No, I'm not a crafter of rope.
But a rope is made by two little strands, right? A little string to build a big rope, right?
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, so you need to guess. That's what the fact is.
Okay.
So every person when you support Trump, and every person did, was a little piece of strand. You think you don't make a difference, but you do make a difference of building the rope to destroy America.
Oh, really?
Now,
Give me an example. Give me an example of the biggest thing that Trump is doing to destroy America.
First off, Trump is a Democrat from New York City. So if the Democrats, if he would have been accepted in New York City in 1980s,
He was accepted. He was accepted. Hold on a second. Donald Trump. Excuse me, San Francisco. Calm down, San Francisco. Donald Trump is not a Democrat. He is a recovered Democrat, right? As was Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was a recovered Democrat too.
Listen, he still will be in New York City, all right? His arrogance and the hate.
But you're in San Francisco. So does that mean that you're a flaming liberal? People are defined by the city they're born in?
Yes, we're from California. We provide 50% of your agriculture, all right? The fourth largest economy on planet
Really?
Earth.
You provide agriculture? You're a farmer?
That's what we are, California.
No, what are you? You said you're providing all this food. What do you do for a living? Are you a farmer?
I'm a San Francisco taxi driver, 20 years.
Okay.
I've talked to hundreds of thousands of strangers alone.
Yeah, in San Francisco.
Yeah. So my experience with human beings is you can't match that.
How's the taxi driving business doing in the age of Uber and Lyft?
I never worried about that a day in my life.
Okay, that's good for you.
Never worried about that.
Donald Trump is a recovered Democrat, as was Ronald Reagan.
Listen to me. You're participating in the destruction of the United States. So you mean to tell me that if you go outside your house and an immigrant Mexican family is right outside your house and say, "Hey,
I call ICE.
Can I buy 4 lemonades?"
I'll give him a lemonade. I give him a lemonade while I'm waiting for ICE to get here. I got to run for the top of the hour break. Oh my goodness! It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and come back to Crazy Town after this. What is going on with the callers today? If you'd like to call in, we're in our top of the hour break on the radio. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to take the calls after the radio break, okay? But to get us back on track here, I was sharing that over the weekend, Iran admitted that they lost the war to the United States and President Trump. And on Iranian state television over the weekend, one of their hosts on Iranian state television, who only says on television in Iran what the Ayatollah Islamic lunatics that run Iran believe, he said on state television in Iran that if the United States invades and occupies southern Iran, that it's okay, which is a confession and an admission that they have no military capability anymore, that we've won, that they can't repel us if we invade, and if we decide to occupy, they can't do anything about it. And that's good news. So we've won the war, and Iran has admitted it. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. Okay, we'll be back shortly. 888-465-2631. Hold on, I got to get some stuff ready for the next hour. Okay, I need that, and I need that, and that. I'm getting my stuff ready for the next hour. And I'm missing some stuff. Okay, I'll figure it out. Stand by. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Oh my goodness! You know, what is going? Are they giving my call-in number out to the people in the mental wards of America? I go to New York. I go to San Francisco. I take calls from Texas. No matter where I go, from sea to shining sea, I'm talking to nutbags, narcissists, racist, people that are hallucinating, bigots. I mean, what's going on here on the phones today? Are there normal people out there that have the use of a telephone? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. We're still in this is our top of the hour radio station break. Yeah, guys, please like the video. When you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found my channel. So please like the video. And if you're new, welcome. Please subscribe, all right? I'm here every morning of the week, even weekends, in studio, taking live calls, all right? We'll be back in about 90 seconds. Let me double check the time. Yep, about a little less than 90 seconds, we'll be back. But that, to me, is that not an admission by Iran that they've lost, that Trump won, the United States won? And I think what's upsetting the liberals in this audience today is the idea that the United States won this war. I think, yeah, the farmers of San Francisco, that's correct, in taxi cabs. They're farming in taxi cabs. Oh, my goodness. Most of what we eat comes from California farms. I don't know, most people are eating McDonald's. Chicken McNuggets come from California. Less than a minute, we'll be back, guys. But I think the idea that we've won this war against Iran is what's triggering these people. But there's got to be some... I'm going to go back to the phones when we get back. All opinions are welcome on the program. Do you think that one guy was a narcissist? Absolutely. He's smarter than all of us because he doesn't vote. Another cosplay caller, right? With all this fake background. Professional poker player, matchmaker wife. Sounds like a romance novel, a cheesy romance novel. All right, 20 seconds. The second hour has begun. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Steve from Staten Island.
Hey, Staten Island. What's up?
Yeah, I do. Well, just listening to it, I mean, it's irritating the fact that people would like to see us lose
Yeah.
a war just because they got a bug up their took us about Trump.
Yes.
That has always been, my thing is, I don't care who the president is. I always love to put America first, really, no matter who it was, Biden
Yeah,
or whoever.
absolutely.
I always choose to hope that America comes out on top.
Exactly.
We're the best nation and everything. Okay, so you got big on Trump, but to have us wanting to lose a war, having to lose a lot of good men and women, probably, it shows how pathetic.
Well, you're
these
talking
people
about
are.
Renee from Harlem. I asked Renee from Harlem if he wants the United States or Iran to win the war. He said Iran. Is that treason?
That's treason to me.
Yeah, it sure is.
Pushing
Yeah.
for you're pushing the people to attack America or to
Yeah.
destroy America. You gotta say that's something that I'm not the right side of it.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yeah, it sounds like treason to me too. It's one thing to say, hey, we shouldn't be there, we need to get out, we got to have an exit. That's one thing. But to say that you want us to actively lose, for us to lose, American service personnel would have to die in combat, and our military and Navy would have to be, I mean, that's treason. It's got to be.
It is definitely. It shows that you hate this president so much that you are willing to say that type of stuff.
It's crazy.
It's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, Staten Island, I appreciate the call. You take care. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
You know, I was thinking, the Iranians said the other day that they are unbeatable. They're
That's right.
invincible on the streets. Okay, To me, that sounds like a fighter who got knocked down a couple of times, and then on the rope beating the hell out of him. They stopped the fight, and then the fighter said, "Well, I was going to come back and win the fight." These guys are just nuts. We're beating the hell out of them, and they think that they're unbeatable in the streets. Well, I guess they want a land invasion because they think that Americans are our army is too soft.
Well, what they're doing is they're preparing their people. They do not have the military capability to repel an invasion or even respond if we decide to occupy southern Iran. And they want their people to know that's okay. It's called foreshadowing. They're preparing them.
I'm thinking that I'm waiting for the Iranians to finally get up and take over. I don't know if the CIA is helping them, but man, that's what we need. We got to get rid of the leaders that they have there and get rid of the religious.
I mean, I don't know if the people are on our side or not. They've been brainwashed for 47, 50 years, so maybe they like it like this.
Yeah, if that's the case, then let them sit there and get beat up.
Exactly.
But man, this is really I can't believe anybody who's being beat. When I was on the beach when they had the CF show, and F-15 came over, I said, "Oh my, that is terrifying." It came like for 1 second it was away, and next thing you know, I said, "Who could want to fight the American army, man?"
And when they drop the bombs, you don't because they're going supersonic speed when they're attacking. You don't even hear the planes. The plane noise doesn't catch up until after the bombs exploded.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the few leaders that they have left there, we got to take them out and let's figure out a way to.
Absolutely.
Finally, that they have.
Absolutely. All right, Doug, I got to move on, but I appreciate the call. Well, and if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll free 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, no matter where you're listening. So, there's a major communist revolution going on in this country, the United States. It is. They call themselves the Democrat Socialists, but they're communist. And the communists are infiltrating this country. I did something I have not done in a long time. I watched a movie on Netflix. My wife and I, we cancel Netflix all the time, and then there'll be something out that we want to see, so we'll get it back for a month. And we canceled Netflix again last week. And so I said, well, let me see if there's anything there before the subscription expires. So I went and I saw a movie, and it looked really good. So I watched it, and it was about, I'll tell you the name of the movie and what it was about in a minute. This was crazy. So the reason I watched this movie, it had a lot of actors whose names I don't know, but are familiar to me, right? And very good actors. And it took place in Miami. And I was like, okay, I live in South Florida. I'll watch that. And it was about Brothers to the Rescue. And if you guys remember back in the 90s, the Cubans shot down a couple of Brothers to the Rescue planes. And for those that don't know, Brothers to the Rescue is a very important organization who saved a lot of lives over the years. Brothers to the Rescue is an organization that has airplanes. It's backed and made up of Cuban exiles. They fly over the Florida Straits looking for escaping Cubans that are on boats and rafts and pieces of wood out in the ocean so they can alert the Coast Guard to where they are so they can get rescued and not drown. And in the 90s, 2 of their planes were shot down by the Cubans. The MiG jets went up. It's crazy. Bill Clinton was president, did jack about it. And also, around that time, there were some Cuban spies that were arrested in Miami. They were working for the Castro regime, trying to infiltrate Brothers to the Rescue and other Cuban exile organizations in Miami. And that's what the movie was about. And I since I live here in South Florida, they said it was filmed in South Florida, at least I thought it was. And I said, well, I got to go check this out. I was about a quarter of the way through the movie before I realized what I was watching. It's a pro-communist movie. It's called WASP Network. WASP, WASP Network, WASP. It's on Netflix. This is a pro-Castro Cuban communist regime movie. It's on Netflix. The movie is from 2019. I've never heard of it before. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And what the movie was about the heroic, I couldn't believe this, the heroic Cuban government spies who infiltrated all these Cuban exile organizations to stop terrorism that they were committing in Cuba. Yeah, the Cuban exiles are the terrorists in this movie, and the good guys are the Cuban spies and, of course, the women they loved. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And when it was revealed what the movie was really about, I watched the whole thing because I was like, this can't be. But it's on Netflix. There is a major communist revolution going on in this country, and this movie is a part of it. And the actors that are in it are not actors that you know by name, but other than Penelope Cruz. You know, remember she used to date Tom Cruise, who spoke at the World Cup yesterday? Penelope Cruz is the most famous person in it. The other ones in it, the second most famous is Ana de Armas. She was in that JFK movie where she played the Hispanic Marilyn Monroe. But Penelope Cruz is in it. And the other actors whose names you may not know are faces you would recognize because they're in a lot of different things. I have never seen a pro-Fidel Castro communist Cuba movie like this. And it's in mostly Spanish. There's some English in it. And I did watch it with subtitles on because it's in Spanish mostly. But check it out and see what they're doing. I mean, it's really crazy. And I don't think most people would pick up on what this movie was really about. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Excuse me, yes. Good morning, Brian. It's Izzy from Virginia. How are you today?
All right, Virginia. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to speak about Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1979, I think they had like a communist election where they were offering everybody free stuff, and they got elected, and then they killed all the communists that voted for them.
In 1979, they had the Islamic Revolution. They overthrew the Shah's government, and the Ayatollah, who was living in exile in, I believe, in Paris. I correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I was only 8 years old at the time, but I remember the Shah. They overthrew the Shah of Iran, and the Ayatollah returned from exile, they are a theocracy. No, it was an Islamic revolution.
Oh, okay. Because what I was worried about, and I was so grateful when I heard President Trump and others come out and speak about the DSA and the communist takeover of our own country.
Yeah, I got to stop you there. Do not. Don't call. They want you to call them DSA, so that people kind of get. It's Democrat, Socialist, Communist of America. They want you to call them DSA so that people aren't thinking about what they are.
Okay. Well, I was worried that we were going to free Iran and end up captured by the communists here in our own country.
No, they're not communist. They are not communist, and they were not communist. No, it was the Islamic Revolution.
Okay, so it was literally a religion that took over.
Yes, and the Ayatollah was the religious leader, Muslim cleric, the original Ayatollah Khomeini. Mm-hmm.
The one okay. Well, thank you for straightening me out on that. But anyway, I'm very grateful to hear that the communist stuff is coming out into the open now.
Oh,
and hopefully
absolutely.
It will be dealt with swiftly, and
absolutely.
we can maintain our great American country.
Under the greatest president ever, Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
All right, take care. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back. All right, we'll be back in 40 seconds, guys, so hang in there. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the phones when we get back. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. And please, guys, make sure you like the video. When you like the video, it gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So liking the video, guys, really you're part of my promotions team when you like the video. So please do that, and thank you for doing it. All right, stand by. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It fell down.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Richie.
What fell down? What fell down? I heard you say. What fell down?
No, my air conditioning in the house. I'm waiting for the guy to come. We have a portable in my den where I'm watching you on big TV.
Yeah.
And so my wife tried to block out the window for the sun. That's what it. And
we do the same thing at my house. We block, we block out our windows from the sun too, because it's so hot.
Yeah, it's because this air conditioning unit is one with the tube that goes outside.
Mm-hmm.
It goes
I have one of those.
So
I have one of those.
Here's the deal about the people that are calling in, and I'm gonna say something.
These nutbags I'm hearing from. Yes.
Yeah, I hope you're all listening to what I'm going to say. When I on my way to Vietnam out of California, I went in the bus. We left Oakland, California to go to Travis Air Force Base to fly to Vietnam. I'll never forget it, watching the people coming home on the highways of California with not a care in the world, listening to their music, going to have a great weekend, probably a cookout, and I'm on my way to war. Okay, and I'm scared to death. I'm not. Any soldier that says I'm not scared, you got to be kidding me, because you're going to the unknown. And the point I'm bringing up is this: in World War II, Franklin Roosevelt, their holy grail president, the liberal, he basically didn't even want to get involved in World War II. But when we went into World War II, we were united as a country. To have these communist Democrats undercut the President of the United States in our effort to and these callers like Renee to undercut our what you're putting the soldiers in harm's way. These Iranians figure, hey, look, we could wait them out because we get a communist Democrat in there and they're gonna give us the moon like Biden did. I'm telling you, and Obama. This is a disgrace. You have to back the military. You have to back your soldiers, whether you're for the war or not. For you to call in and protest this war and make it, and the politicians going on television, you don't think the Iranians are watching this? They're saying these fools they're divided in the country. It's ridiculous, Brian. I can't stand to see it. They don't realize what they're doing to our own troops.
Yes.
You might not have anybody over there, but when you have a war going on, whether you're for it or against it, you better support it, because if you don't support it,
well, you're talking about Renee from Harlem. In the last hour, Renee from Harlem called in, and I said, "Do you want the United States or Iran to win?" And the war, and he said Iran, and he didn't say it right away. I had to push him to give an answer, because he knew, it's not the right thing, but he lost control and said it. I mean, that to me has got to be, I've never heard someone talk that. That's treason, yeah.
Well, yeah, but he calls you up every morning. I'm going to say this to Renee. I know he's listening to this, okay? He thinks, I don't know, he gets excited to try to put you down, and he attacks white people on a regular basis. He called your show the white supremacy show or something like that.
Yeah.
I got to say something to you, Renee. I listen to a lot of black conservatives who don't blame the country. Matter of fact, they're glad that the white man brought them over here from Africa. Because, Renee, if they hadn't done that, you'd be sitting in some country over there probably not having the success and the good life.
Well, what happened with Renee called me over the weekend on my show on Saturday. You guys that don't watch me on YouTube, you're missing out on a lot, because I most afternoons I have a live show just like this, and on Saturday and Sunday mornings too with live calls. And Renee called, and he was upset about Spain and Portugal because we're talking about, I guess, the World Cup with Spain triggered Spain and Portugal's role in the slave trade. And I said, I'm not familiar with Portugal and Spain invading Africa. They were sold the African slaves by other Africans. They just came up on the beach and did the transaction. Do the Africans have some responsibility in the slave? And he said to me, that's none of your business. He said, that's none of your business. He shouted at me. It was hilarious. He's been unglued since then.
I'm just going to say this, not for nothing. The Civil War has been over 100 years. I mean, everything. We're sitting back in a fair country now. The country had its bad times, but now basically it benefits everybody. Everybody, no matter what color you are an American if you're born here. Now, for Renee, not for nothing, I hate to bring him up. For Renee could have been. If he ought to thank you, Brian, and say, "Hey, I'm glad the white man brought us over here because we're the most successful black nation probably in the world right now."
Yes.
Africans in this country are very wealthy. Capitalism has helped a lot of black entrepreneurs, and for Renee to call up and hate white people, well, the old story is this, Renee. If you don't like it, go buy a plane ticket and go back to an all-black country over in Africa.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what
he is
people
in Harlem. All right, Richie, I gotta run. I appreciate the call. The rest of you on hold, stand by. We're starting off Monday. People are filled with passion on the phones today, which is good. We're coming up on the halfway mark of the morning show here, and a lot of passion out there in the audience. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's me, Sean again, from California, remember?
Do you call...
Filipino guy.
Oh, okay, you called... I don't remember when you called. You called a while back. Oh, you called me over the weekend. All right, go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I think I have a solution for these communists.
Mm-hmm.
Just, make a law, make it into law, write it into law, that anyone practicing communism, if they're naturalized citizens, just kick them out. And anybody who's a citizen should just be, they should just charge them with treason.
Well, this is, I know you're from the Philippines originally, but in America, we have freedom of association and political beliefs and stuff. But, what communists are in this country, they fit mainly, most communists are one of two types of people. Losers who have nothing, or bums who are lazy and don't want to get a job. And communism sounds good to them because they don't have to worry about a job or being productive. Everything they think everything's given to them. Yeah.
But they have to take that from somebody else.
Other losers and bums.
That's what they don't realize.
Yes.
But where are they going to take that from? They're going to take it from other people.
Yeah.
This is the problem. You're going to tax the billionaire. I mean, of course they're paying taxes. I mean, let's say if you take it out from the billionaires, they're going to run away.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And then you're going to take it out from the millionaires because you don't have the billionaires anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when the millionaires run away, where are you going to take it from? You're going to take it from ordinary people.
Well, that's what happens. In Cuba. All right, first dump of the day, Mike. First dump of the day. Yeah, sometimes you got to dump people you don't think you're going to have to dump. Wow, with all these calls today, we got through half the show before we had to use the dump button. Oh, my goodness. Now, we were talking about air conditioning. I have one of those portable air conditionings for the hurricanes when there's no electricity. But did you hear Richie? Richie's got to use his portable wall unit air conditioning because it's so hot. You need to call Sloman Central Air Conditioning. If your air conditioning isn't cooling your house properly, if you have an air conditioning that's blowing hot air, if you have rooms in your house that aren't cooling, if your air conditioning's running all day, call Sloman Central Air Conditioning. Get an air conditioning system that works. And listen to this. You can do it at a price you can afford. With Sloman Central Air Conditioning, you can get a high-efficiency 5-ton 18-SEER system that uses R454B refrigerant for just $59 $29.99 with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. That's an incredible deal by itself, but listen to this. It also comes with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper service plan, which includes annual system maintenance, filter replacement, and refrigerant. And also, you'll receive the Sloman Shield home security system installed with 5 years of professional central station monitoring included with your AC package. Give them a call, 561-217-COOL. That's COOL. 561-217-COOL. 561-217-COOL. We'll be right back after this. All right, we'll be back in 15 seconds. If you're on hold, hang in there. Oh, my goodness. 5 seconds. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Are we at war?
Say that again.
Are we at war?
We? You mean by who's we? You mean the United States? And
Of course.
well, I don't know. You know, when I'm talking to people on the line, I don't know where you're calling from. Yes, the United States is at war.
I thought he said we won the war.
Yeah, who's the he? We have won the war.
President John.
We have won the war.
Then why can we still be at war?
Well, we're still fighting. Do you know that in the second, you may not be aware of this, okay? You sound a little slow, all right? So you may not be aware of this. Do you know that...
We have something in common.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Maybe we'll bond over that. Maybe you're not aware of this. And interesting that you admit that you are slow, so I get it. Are you aware that the Second World War, which ended in 1945, right? You know this, right? World War II ended in 1945. We defeated Germany and Japan, correct?
If you say so.
You're not. You really are slow. We won the Second World War, correct? Did we not win the Second World War? We defeated Japan and Germany, right?
Who is we?
The United States. The United States. We won the war against Germany and Japan.
And the Allies.
Okay. Yes. You agree with that, right? The United States and our allies defeated Germany and Japan in 1945, correct?
Master of the obvious.
Okay. Well, here we are, over 80 years later, and we still are occupying Germany and Japan. We have soldiers, Marines, and naval personnel in these countries, and Air Force and everything else. So the fact that we still have a military occupation going on of countries we defeated 85 years ago, does that mean that the war has been won or not?
How many?
No, that's a question. That's not an answer. That's a question. I asked you a question. You answer questions with answers.
The answer is our troops don't get involved in any conflicts in Japan or Germany since 1945.
That's not true. In fact, there was a resistance in Germany.
You're just a little slow.
There was a resistance in Germany until the 1950s.
Which resistance in 1950s?
The SS had a resistance in Germany that was active in killing people into the 1950s.
Killing our troops?
And yeah.
Wrong. Just because you say it doesn't make it correct or accurate.
It is both correct and accurate. But you will agree that we still have military personnel occupying these countries. Why do we still have?
We have military personnel in every country.
No, we don't. We don't have them in Russia.
A few exceptions.
But why do we still have military in Japan and Germany?
Tell me.
To keep them in line so they don't start another war.
You think Japan is going to start another war?
Yeah, not with us there, they're not. And Germany's always doing crazy things.
What was the last crazy thing Germany did?
Let's
hear your stupid statement.
Well, every day they buy natural gas from Russia, which they say is an enemy of NATO. So that seems pretty crazy.
That's crazy, buying natural gas.
When you're at war, they want NATO. We are fighting Russia through Ukraine by arming them and funding them. Germany's a part of that, but Germany is funding the Russian war machine that we're supposedly fighting against in Ukraine. That's crazy.
Let me ask you this question. Iran, Ukraine has been an enemy of ours for 47 years.
Since 1979, when they took our embassy, correct?
Why didn't Trump do anything in his first term?
There was a little thing called COVID that kind of hijacked the term, and they weren't and they weren't as close then as they were in his second term to having the nuclear weapon.
But they were still putting one together.
But they were very far away from it then.
Oh, so you're telling me COVID, we stopped national defense because of COVID?
Well, it was a distraction.
A distraction?
So he stopped paying attention.
I got to tell you, you are slow. Why do you vote Democrat? What kind of grown man votes Democrat in America?
Ask your relatives.
No one in my family votes Democrat.
Never?
Everyone in my family voted for Donald Trump 3 times.
You didn't answer my question.
I'm not
Did
here
your
to
mother
answer.
vote Democrat?
My mother voted.
Did your mother ever vote Democrat?
My mother voted Republican for the first time when she voted for President Trump.
So, what kind of woman votes for?
Well, I certainly not a lowlife like you trying to bring someone's mother into it. But my mother woke up, unlike you.
I've never voted for a Democrat in my life.
So who'd you vote for in the last election?
Donald Trump.
But I thought you said he's bad. Why'd you vote for him if he's such a bad guy?
I voted for his policies, not the man.
Well, then why are you giving him a hard time?
He never talked about Iran.
No, in fact, no, that's not true. In 2024, Iran tried to kill him. Excuse me. In 2024, is this Greg?
Hello?
Greg. Trying to disguise your voice. You just gave it away. I can't believe, this is, you. This is Greg too. Greg too.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Ah, yeah, you do. Oh, boy. Greg too. Oh, busted. 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 Wow. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hey, Brian. It's Joan from Tampa Bay. How you doing?
And the last time Greg, I'm doing well, Joan. The last time Greg 2 called, he did something, and I said, you and I will never speak again. I'm not going to say what he did, but I said we'll never speak again. And he called in, and he, could you guys tell that was him? All right, go ahead, Joan from Tampa Bay. Oh, boy. Greg 2. Greg 2 trying to disguise his voice.
Anyway, I sound like I'm a New York Jew, but I'm not. I'm a New York Catholic. But anyway.
Okay.
I do. I mean, you know. Anyway. I think Trump should not stop the bombing. I mean, really put them into the Stone Age, period.
Uh-huh.
Period.
I agree with you, Joan.
He should complete the job. And I just have to mention, you know, I do get Instacart from Publix, you know.
Yes.
And a lot of the people that deliver are Cuban.
Okay.
And they're like...
How do you know they're Cuban and not like Puerto Rican or something?
No, I asked them.
You asked them, okay. Okay.
Yeah, where you from? And he said, Cuba.
Where are you from? Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of Cubans in Tampa.
Yes, there are.
They're not all in Miami.
Huh?
They're not all in Miami. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot in Tampa. And I say, you want Poppy Trump take Cuba?
You say to them, where are you from? They say Cuba, and then you say, how do you say it? You want Poppy Trump to take Cuba.
Yes.
You say it like that?
Yes.
Okay, and you talk slow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that, John. That's funny. Yeah, okay, and what do they say?
Thumbs up. Yeah, Poppy Trump.
Poppy Trump, Poppy Trump, Poppy Trump. I like that. Poppy Trump. That's good, Joan. I like that. Poppy Trump.
Poppy Trump, they call him.
That's what they call him?
Trump. Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that. Poppy Trump. You know, Cuba actually, you're in Tampa. Cuba actually has like a mission. They have actually, the country of Cuba has property in the downtown Tampa City
I
limits.
know.
Yeah. What is it? Is it a mission? It's actual communist Cuban property.
It's like a park.
Yeah, it's a part. Yeah, but it's property of actually the communist nation of Cuba. They own property in Tampa.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but they do.
There is a very big Cuban population here, and they call him Papi Trump.
Papi Trump. Okay, I like that. I'm sure President Trump would like that. Papi Trump. Papi Trump. I wouldn't call him Papi myself. That's kind of gay. But all right, hey, Joan, I got to run. But thanks for the call. Oh, my goodness. Today has just been a crazy day. Greg, too. Busted. Joan from Tampa Bay that just called. She's a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. She's on one of our commercials for Joe Thomas that I recorded. And she's in Tampa Bay, which shows you don't have to be here in South Florida to take advantage of that no-charge consultation. And you know what Joan from Tampa talks about in her message from Jupiter Joe Thomas is about that monthly income, that her money's never at risk, and she gets that monthly check every month deposited into her bank. And it's life-changing money. I mean, you're giving yourself a pension. You're giving yourself another income stream. It's absolutely amazing. And, I was talking with Joe Thomas. He was in studio with me on Friday, that a lot of people, sometimes they want to retire early. They're eligible for Social Security at 62, and they do because they might have to in some instances, but they don't get the full Social Security at 62. An annuity makes up that difference, and maybe even more so than that, And sometimes people want to retire early, 58, 59, 60, 62, before they reach full Social Security. An annuity will give you that extra income that you need perhaps to retire early. Give Joe Thomas a call. He'll put together a custom presentation for you based on your situation and your goals. Give him a call. The number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. You can also find his number online at jupiterjoe.com. All right, callers on hold, stand by. We'll take our break and be right back. All right, guys. Now, did you all pick up, after I told you, did you pick up that was Greg 2 calling in? Oh, my goodness. I thought it was. It might have been him earlier, but then something. Because it sounded like it was him a little bit. I wasn't sure, and then something happened, and I knew. All right, hold on. Okay. The callers today are nuts. All right. Oh, my goodness. All right, 20 seconds. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is joining us. Hey, hold on one second. Hey, Steve. Good Monday morning.
Good morning to you.
Oh my goodness! Today's callers, I don't know. I mean, they're the Trump derangement syndrome. There's an epidemic brewing. There's been a big outbreak.
Probably having withdrawals because there's no more soccer lessons.
Oh, thank the Lord that World Cup is over. Oh my goodness, 6 months of that.
Great game yesterday. Listen, Americans are developing a fixation, just like the rest of the world, on soccer. Greatest sport on earth, and what a great game yesterday was.
Yep.
I don't know how I'm going to wait the 4 years for the next.
Yeah.
I was going to say Super Bowl, but that's just my.
No, that the one thing the World Cup has gotten me to do is appreciate real football. So which I'm not really into either, but at least they score. Well, you want to take some calls? The calls have really been, especially the men that have called in today, have been unhinged.
Well, that's our listeners.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right. I think we dodged one on that one. Hold on, Stevie. The phones are ringing off the hook. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Carlos, Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Hey, Carlos.
Hey, Brian. I think I'm a little older than you, but I remember that in history class that after World War I, we left Germany alone. Oh, we'll help you rebuild, whatever. Then they got into World War II. So if we would have had our troops there after World War I, that World War II wouldn't have existed.
Exactly.
Exactly. And after World War II, there were still little islands.
I did tell him that, just in a more clever way, Carlos.
Right, but after World War II, there were little islands. I think like 10 years after that they still had Japanese soldiers still fighting. They didn't know that the war was over. That's what I'm saying.
Well, in fact, the last Japanese soldier who was still fighting the war surrendered in the 1970s. And they've made a movie about it. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's a true story. He led his platoon until the 70s.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what we have to be in these countries to keep these people in check.
That's right. So World War II didn't end till like 73, by that guy's standards. All right, Carlos.
All right.
Some good points were made. All right, hold on, Steve. Just give me a second here. All right. Apparently, they wrote our phone number on the wall at the mental hospital here in Florida somewhere, because the callers today have just been. You should have heard the airline pilot. Oh, that was. Oh my goodness! You would not want to fly on a plane if that guy was flying it. I'll tell you that right now. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Cindy in Tennessee.
Hey, Cindy.
Hey, Cindy, what's up?
Hey, I just have one thought. It just popped in my mind about the Iranian, what do you call him, commentator or anchor guy.
Yes.
Maybe it's a possibility because of the way they operate. You think maybe he was doing that to bait us?
No. I mean, I guess that's an extreme possibility. It's pretty far out there, slim to none on that one. But it's they wouldn't do that. For people that are just tuning in, what the caller's referencing, and this is being widely reported on Iranian state television over the weekend, their official television host went on national television in Iran and told the Iranian people that if the United States occupies southern Iran, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And I take that as they couldn't repel an invasion, and if we occupy it, they couldn't push us out or do much about it because we've devastated their military. They wouldn't.
You're pretty accurate.
They wouldn't go. Yeah, caller, they wouldn't go on television, on state Iranian television, and look weak like that to fool us. They tell their people on state TV things to get them excited and motivated, not negative like that. That's that's historic to put something like that so negative on Iranian state television.
Well, you could say it's preparing the audience for the worst.
Yeah, it's foreshadowing what they think's coming.
Because Iranian TV is a propaganda arm of the state.
Yes.
So they'll say whatever the boss wants them to say.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, well, that's all I wanted to say was the thought just popped in my mind. I
Okay.
thought maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Thanks for your call.
All right.
Have a good day.
Okay. I'm a little confused because that's like a normal person. I don't know how to have a conversation with someone that's not a raving lunatic. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bell, blind colonizer from Fort Lauderdale.
Oh my goodness.
Good morning. Shalom to both of you. Peace be with you.
This is like, I mean, I told you on Friday your calls are radio death.
How you doing? How about Steve? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What's up?
Ugh.
What's up? I have something to contribute.
Oh,
Brian,
that's what we're waiting for.
That would be a change.
With bated breath.
These Democratic Socialists of America, if you consider this, I think they're trying to infiltrate the system, as you would call it, because the Islamification of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like a caliphate, and to bring Sharia law to the states, because I've had acquaintances, like I've said, from both faiths, and I've yet to meet a secular Muslim. So I think they want to prop themselves up, or look as if they're socialist
Perhaps.
or communist, and then once they get a position of power,
Yep.
turn over and start bringing the religious stuff all over.
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. I'm gonna compliment you. This was maybe your best call because it was like relevant to what's going on. It was the first call you've made that's not about you or Ethiopia. Hey, listen. No. Now it's going to go down the tubes. But hey, listen. I appreciate the call. Okay, on a high note. I want to talk. Sorry, I want to talk about Lighthouse Medical and neuropathy. Oh my goodness. Neuropathy. Depending on it's never good. But I didn't realize how bad neuropathy gets, Steve. Like when you're in the early stages of neuropathy, you've got the burning, the tingling, in the hands and feet, the dizziness and everything. But I didn't realize how bad it gets. I mean, it gets to the point where people can't stand up, where they can't even move around their own house. I didn't realize that. And
the reason you realize it is because you lived through it with me.
Well, you didn't. You had neuropathy, but when I was over at Lighthouse Medical a few weeks ago, and I saw people for the first time I thought you had advanced. You were kind of like middle. I saw some advanced neuropathy. Some of our listeners that went over there just to begin the treatment, and I didn't realize how bad it gets, Steve. I mean, it was.
That was years ago.
Yeah, but when I was over there a few weeks back, and I saw what advanced neuropathy looks like, I was shocked. But Lighthouse Medical, their treatment for neuropathy can rid you of your neuropathy at no matter what stage you're in. So, if you're in the early stages, hey, get in, you get in early, man, don't wait. But no matter what stage you're in, right? If you're in the early, the medium stage, or even the advanced stages of neuropathy, give them a call. And they can treat you and you can get your life back. And also, a lot of our listeners go in there because they have a parent or a grandparent or a spouse that have neuropathy, and they call and take them there. Sometimes some people have neuropathy so bad they can't even make the phone call, and they certainly can't drive themselves there. Do what Steve did. Get your neuropathy treated at Lighthouse Medical and get your life back. It's a no-charge consultation if you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. The number is 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. That's lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. And if you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Back after this. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold, okay?
All right.
All right, hold on. All right. All right, Steve, we got about a minute. We'll be back.
Okay, you're coming back?
In a minute. A little less than a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, stand by. Not good. All right. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve is here, and the third hour has begun. You know, I think what's triggered these mostly men in the audience, it seems to be the men. The women have been very normal and reasonable. The lunatics that have called in today have all been men, and I think it's us. Iran's admission and confession that we won the war has just triggered them. I think that's what it is, Steve.
Well, it could be. I wanted to ask you one question about the main thing. Any developments on that?
What's the main thing?
The guy that replaced the Nazi, the Senate vote.
In Maine? No, they have that.
Yes.
They have 4 people. One of them's a transgendered person that says they just want to use the bathroom.
I saw that. I saw those people. That what a bunch of lunatics.
That's the future of the Democrat Party.
And the present.
Wow. So no, they haven't gotten their little secret committee yet to pick. They're being
They're
chosen.
pretty well on their way.
They're being chosen in a committee, not by the voters. The voters chose the Nazi.
Right.
You know, I am kind of interested though in Did you see Nancy Pelosi's husband's facing 6 months in jail?
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, you know what I was thinking with him? He did this hit and run or whatever. I think he would rather go to jail for 6 months than live with Nancy for 6 months. I think if he goes to the county lockup, but if they could send him to like one of those white collar jails in California, he'd probably like it. I mean, he seems to be, I'm sure she's putting him through it. If you look at his history of having troubles in the middle of the night at odd hours, it's always when she's out of town. So when Nancy's not in town, Paul Pelosi goes nuts.
Paul's a player, there's no question of that.
Only when his wife's not home, right? People coming over to the house.
Isn't that when most players are most active?
The ones that, and she's got to be very difficult for him to live with. I think he's hoping they'll throw the max. Give me 6 months, I'll take it. Do a year. Oh my goodness. But no, a lot's happening right now. So we've got this secret committee in Maine. The Democrats have decided that they know better in this committee than the voters. So they're gonna nominate, even though Graham Plattner won the primary, they're gonna pick a better candidate than the people did. It really cracks me up because the Democrats' catchphrase at all of their events is, "This is what democracy looks like," right? That's their new thing. This is what democracy. Is this what democracy looks like? Right? Somebody wins your primary, you get some polls, they're not doing well in the polls, so you just throw out the whole election, and you just pick somebody like Kamala and whoever they pick with this in Maine. I mean, that's what democracy looks like. I don't know what
that's the recent history of the Democratic parties.
They're going to be
doing. They got Kamala.
Well, they're going to be doing this every time now. They really are, because if they get away, they've gotten away with it twice. So
if they get away with it, that's the least of our worries.
No, it is a big problem, Steve, because what happens is they get all these do-overs. So anytime there's an election, now they've had rejects with this before, right? They had Kamala, who was a loser, and all of the people that they're choosing from in Maine are idiots. The transgendered person is a weirdo.
But it's fun on television.
Yeah, but there'll be a time when they may pick somebody that's got some charisma, and could win. I'll tell you another thing that conservatives are doing that I think is a big mistake. Everyone's getting excited over Fetterman leaving the Democrat Party. And
he hasn't left yet.
He keeps
He's
saying
on the verge.
He keeps saying he's going to, and a lot of
he says it's this red line, the Jewish, cutting off Israel.
Yeah, and they got a party run by Muslims, so that's going to happen. But I'm listening to all these conservatives get all jazzed up that Fetterman's going to leave the Democrat Party. There have been Democrats that have done this before. Now Fetterman may do it different, okay? But the way the other men, there were a couple of other Democrats that did this. Joe Lieberman was one, and there was another Democrat senator that did it too. I can't remember his name offhand. It was a long time ago. He's not on the scene anymore. And what Joe Lieberman and the other Democrat, leaving the Democrat Party does not mean they're becoming a Republican. What the other ones did was they became independents. Okay? And when you're an independent, you get to decide which party you caucus with. And every time this has happened with a Democrat before, they left the Democrat Party, became an independent, and then they caucused with the Democrats, which meant that their seat counted towards the Democrats, not us. So all these people that are getting excited over Fetterman, I'll get excited when he becomes a Republican in the Senate, okay? Not, and he hasn't said that. And if he does what the others did, he'll become an independent. I'm still a real Democrat, unlike these other. The party left me. I didn't leave the party, and then still caucus with them. So all these Republicans and MAGA people that are getting excited over Fetterman leaving the Democrat Party, I wouldn't get too excited yet. And I do not trust Fetterman. He still votes 90% of the time with the Democrats. You know, he's got one thing, and it's Israel. That's his.
But that's probably one of the most important issues today, because without Israel, we're in real trouble in the Mideast.
I don't know. You know, I don't know. Nah, we can take care. I don't know if it's one of the big issues, but I don't see Fetterman becoming a Republican. If he does, I'll be excited, but I don't see that happening.
But now that the Democrats, the establishment Democrats, are starting to realize what's really going on, believe me, it's going to be a major issue in the election.
Yeah.
Because the people like Fetterman who are loyal to Israel and grateful for all the help they've given us throughout the years in terms of our security, are going to be furious.
Yeah, but if he becomes an independent, and he caucuses and allies with the Democrats in the Senate, I mean, that's a cowardly move.
Every vote is different. Doesn't matter.
We'll see what he does.
For example, on one of these budgeting bills, where I'm sure he's voting on the right side, he'll continue to vote on the right side.
Yeah. In fact, Fetterman. Now, again, I'm going to throw this out to the audience, because what I thought I heard from Fetterman over the weekend, I could be wrong about this. I'll throw this out. That he would change his party affiliation, but not his votes. So, you know, I think he's being a coward if he does that. So that tells me he's going to become an independent, not a Republican, and he's still going to vote with these idiots. So, you know, that seems to me to be a lot of virtue signaling. If he has had this big awakening that he claims, he wouldn't vote with those anti-Semitic, anti-Israeli people. He would be done with them. But so, you know, that's not what he said. You know, he said, I thought I heard him say he's going to leave the Democrat Party, but still vote with the Democrats. So that's a cowardly move. Joe Lieberman did that, and who was the other senator? Did it at the same time? I can't remember. It's kind of like, you know, Bernie Sanders isn't a Democrat. He's a third-party guy. So he doesn't have a party there, so he caucuses with the Democrats. So, you know, Fetterman's a snake. He's one of those snakes that Trump talks about in the poem.
I totally disagree.
If he said
that's okay.
He said he's still going to vote with the Democrats. So what does that mean? You know,
he didn't say that's how you.
That's my recollection. If you guys out in the audience heard Fetterman talking about this, did I mishear that? I don't think so.
He's an independent voter in terms of issues.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Is he going to vote for the Save America Act passage?
Oh, yeah, I would bet anything
Okay.
Fetterman is going to vote for that.
All right. Okay. You know, I want to talk about.
Hold on, just out of curiosity, and then we'll get back to our business thing. You saying that you don't think? Anyway, go ahead with what
I don't trust Fetterman. No, I do not trust Fetterman. He's not going to become a Republican. He's not going to vote for our stuff. He's still going to. He's going to do
Is there a way of checking during this show? I know there's very little time left on the computer. Though, can you work your magic and find out how Fetterman's been voting on this?
No, he's voted 90% of the time with the Democrats. 90% of the time.
Not on the Save America bill, I wouldn't think. But anyway.
No, we only have 50 votes on that. Those are just our people. No, he's been with the. They haven't taken the vote on the Save America Act yet, so we don't know. But we have 50 pledged votes, and those are all Republican. But they haven't taken a vote in the Senate yet. I have not heard Fetterman talk about it.
They've had some tough test votes.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody in the audience can help us.
If somebody in the audience knows, let us know. But I want to talk about life imaging. You know, life imaging, they do such incredible work because they're saving lives, and they're saving lives every day because, you know, it's all about preventative health. And every week, I'll run into somebody else who's had their heart scan and found out they had a heart problem. Sometimes it's blockage in an artery. Sometimes it's blockage in every artery. Sometimes it's another condition of the heart that doesn't involve blockage. You know, it really is amazing to me how how many heart problems people have, and they're not aware of it. That's why, I was thinking of all the times when I've known people that have had heart attacks. I've never personally known someone who had a heart attack who everybody knew it was coming. It's always a shock, right? I had no idea. He played golf every weekend. How did he do this? He was at the gym 3 times a week. How did he have a heart attack? He was only 55. He had a heart attack. He was only 45. He had a heart attack. I've never heard of. Am I interrupting, Steve? I've never heard of someone that I've known personally. He had a heart attack, and they said, "Oh, we knew that was coming." Never. Listen, Life Imaging FLA have locations in Broward, Dade, Palm Beach, and Orlando. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell phone, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250, just say free heart scan, and you'll be connected in seconds. All right, we'll take our break and be right back. All right, Steve, I want to put you on hold, okay? Hold on. Hey, 8D Ghost 01, thanks so much for that. All right, Steve, got 30 seconds.
Okay.
All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve's here. I'm Brian. And I looked this up during the break. Steve, Fetterman was on CNN, and he said he fully intends to continue to be a part of the Democrat Party no matter what. So he's saying that he's going to...
That doesn't prove he's voted against the Save America
He's
Act.
not voted for the Save America Act. There's no way. There's no way. No way. They'd be all over him for that.
Okay.
What I mean is that Fetterman is running a con job on people, and I'm seeing conservatives. Hold on a second, I'll answer these. I'm seeing conservatives champion him when he's a liberal snake. Another thing that came out over the weekend, the governor of Kentucky, now he is a Democrat, we have to put that in, but the governor of Kentucky said that he has heard from 2 sources that Senator Mitch McConnell has died. He said that over the weekend. We haven't, since they got that fake AI picture last week, we haven't seen nor heard anything from McConnell. All right, let's...
Is there anybody out there you think doesn't know he's dead?
Well, they're not acknowledging it. I mean, they're...
Well, of course not, because they're staying away from the issue. It's a hot potato.
Why? We'd have a special election. We'll get a good MAGA guy to replace him. The Never Trumper rhinos are involved in a cover-up.
Surely you will concede that according to what's going on up till this point, they're not eager to tackle it. That's why this whole thing is going on.
Only the rhinos.
Subterfuge.
It's the rhino fake Republicans, John Thune, and the Trump haters are covering up something with Mitch McConnell. All right, let's take some calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is George, the Major. I'm calling from Pompano Beach.
All right.
And what a day it's been. Hi, Steve. I've been following you guys for like over 35 years, but today I've been in stitches. You've been so damn funny, Brian, and you cut everybody up into chopped liver today. I mean, all these crazy people that have been calling in, they're nuts. And I'm a retired Air Force pilot, C-130 pilot, and I'm not one of those crazy ones. How about that?
Well, I'll tell you, that guy that was the airline pilot, he was unhinged for someone that would be flying a commercial jet filled with passengers. That was really scary.
Yeah.
That guy was scary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's all you got, Major?
Okay, I'll be calling back. Thanks
Okay.
a lot.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Nice guy.
Thank you.
Not much to say, but a nice guy. I'll admit that. No, see, this thing with Mitch McConnell is a big deal because what they're doing is they're dragging it out until they don't have to have the special election because
Right. Isn't that fairly standard practice?
No. To hide the death of a sitting United States. No, not to my knowledge.
When I say this thing, I'm talking about the idea of taking into consideration upcoming elections and making a choice of what candidate's going to replace what candidate, and retiring at the right time. That's politically expedient.
No. What's happened is okay. It's like with Lindsey Graham, right? We got the appointment. If I don't remember what the date is, but it's coming up soon. Okay, if he dies or resigns before a certain date, they have to have a special election. He's not running. He wasn't running for re-election anyway.
Right.
So the rhino fake.
Do you call that a political situation?
No, I call it a scandal. John Thune is the one man who's held up the Save America Act, right? He's a total snake and a creep and a liar and a fraud, John Thune, okay? Who's a McConnell disciple.
Tell me how you really feel.
It's true. He's the only one holding it up. I'm not. The Democrats aren't. It's John Thune. If I don't remember the date, but it's coming up. If Mitch McConnell dies or resigns before a certain date, they'll have they're required to have a special election to complete the term. And
so you're saying they don't want to?
The Republican rhino establishment do not want that. They're afraid they'll get a MAGA senator in. And once they're in, possession and 9/10 of the law, if we get a MAGA person in to replace McConnell in a special election, there's a good chance they'll win the term, as opposed to the rhino that they're putting up. And Thune could be out as majority leader the next day if we get a good MAGA guy in that Senate seat. So this is a scandal by the Bush rhino Republicans to stop Trump, to stop the Save America Act from passing. And I've never seen this happen before. No, certainly not the Republicans. And this is one of the biggest political scandals, I think, of any of our lifetimes. What John Thune and the rhino Trump-hating Republicans are doing with Mitch McConnell. And
All right, well, we're beating a dead horse.
well, if you got somewhere else you'd like to go, I'm open to any other topic, Steve.
No, I'd like
You just keep telling me you don't like anything I bring up. It's if you got somewhere better to bring up, I'm open. But no, I just want to finish with this. The Save America Act is the most important legislation that Trump has introduced in both of his terms. It's not the Democrats holding it up, it's the Republicans. And people should go to prison for this. There's been a major conspiracy with this. That photograph last week was fake. Everybody knows it was fake. We haven't heard or seen anything since. And we need an investigation into that. Who put that photo online? It was someone from his office was promoting this. What went down with that? If he is dead, how long has he been dead? We need Kash Patel to personally go to the hospital, and get us a proof of life or something on Mitch McConnell. This is the biggest scandal that I ever know. It's bigger than Watergate, bigger than Fornegate, which was the Clinton Lewinsky scandal, and all of them combined. Never seen anything like this. And worse, it's these rhino Trump derangement syndrome suffering Republicans. All right, now I want to take a moment to talk about Dr. Gupta and Brighton Dental. Okay, now. Dr. Gupta, I was talking with Richie about Dr. Gupta on Friday. He drives about
his number one patient.
Well, he drives almost 200 miles to see Dr. Gupta, and that's each way, right? And he does that for a number of reasons. He's an incredible dentist. He cares about his patients. He also has the latest dental medical equipment and techniques. And his prices are family-friendly prices, okay? They really are. And so many of the dental practices in South Florida have been bought up by these big companies.
Yeah.
And you go
it's overcharged and it's terrible.
Yeah, you go to these dentists, and it may even have the dentist you've seen for years, but he's now an employee. You may not realize that he's an employee. And what they
the other thing go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and well, so what that's caused is a huge increase in what dentists are charging throughout the entire area, because they want you to pay for that fancy waiting room. They want you to pay for all these acquisitions of buying dental practices. Dr. Gupta is not only family friendly with his prices, family friendly with his type of dentistry, but it's a family-owned practice that he and his family own and run. It's independent. It's not owned by one of these companies, and that's one of the reasons he's able to keep his prices so affordable. So listen.
Yes, and I was going to say the other thing I learned from Dr. Gupta is this was back 15 years ago when he first became our family dentist. When you neglect dental problems, you know what happens?
What happens?
They only get worse.
That's true.
And that's the lesson that I've learned through my life. That's why you need somebody who can be there to advise you and get that work done so it doesn't get worse. And of course, if it gets worse, it's even more expensive. You want to call Dr. Gupta to make an appointment. You're going to be very happy with him. I searched long and hard to find him 15 years ago. And he's been with me ever since.
Yeah, give him.
Dr. Gupta's number?
Of course I do. Yeah, give him a call. His number is 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back. All right, Steve, hold on, okay? I'll put you on hold. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right, Steve, we got about a minute. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, we got about a minute. Hold on. We've got a breaking story. I'm just reading it real quick. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this is a bad one. Okay. Okay, we got 40 seconds.
What does it involve?
I'll tell you in a minute. We'll be back in
Okay,
30
I'm
seconds.
All excited.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is here. I'm Brian. And if you'd like to call in, the number's toll free 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Okay, now President Trump has had more assassination attempts against him than all of the other presidents combined. That's not an exaggeration. It is a truth. The Iranians, President Trump said during the campaign, they tried to assassinate him twice, the Iranians. And there was a third time that I think I'm aware of that hasn't been publicly disclosed. At least there was a threat. And we may have, something happened over the weekend I want to share. This is pretty scary. NORAD, you haven't heard about NORAD for a while, have you? NORAD F-16s intercepted multiple aircraft violating flight restrictions over New Jersey. More than 10 aircraft entered restricted New Jersey airspace as NORAD urges pilots to check restrictions. This area of New Jersey has flight restrictions because the president goes there on the weekends. That's where Bedminster is, his summer resort. He comes to the rich Palm Beach crowd come to Florida during the winter, okay, and during the summer when it's super hot, they summer elsewhere. So he goes to New Jersey in the summer and Florida during the winter. We just had the Iranians about a week and a half ago were making threats against President Trump when he was in Turkey against Air Force One. Now we have planes flying over Bedminster during this heated time of war, and they send fighter jets out to intercept. This is a big deal, and my guess would be that this very well could have been the Iranians, doing some testing.
But what happened when you said they sent a fighter?
They didn't give us any details on the planes. They never do. They never do.
In other words, they didn't give you the end of the story.
Well, they scrambled F-16 fighter jets over Bedminster. That's a pretty big deal. I've seen them do it. I've seen them. Hold on while I answer these phones, Steve. We're at war against the Iranians. They've made multiple attempts on his life. They threatened his life a week ago. And now this,
a big story.
It is a big story, and I'm going to put this down as a possible test of the Bedminster security, because he's been going to Bedminster for long years. The regular pilots, they know about the restricted airspace. Okay, for this to happen is I don't believe in coincidences. There's just too much. There's been too many assassination attempts in the last few weeks. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Sam, James from Ohio.
Okay, Jay from Ohio.
Yep, James. But I just wanted to talk about how do you.
That's nice. I'm curious. Why would you think it's a negative for somebody to be or look gay? Are you some kind of homophobe?
No, I'm not. I never said that.
Okay, all right. I thought it's what you said to me. Maybe you got that Tourette's and you just throw things out. All right, what's on your mind?
So what's on my mind is the war in Iran, our foreign policy, and our people that are representing us, our congressmen, our state representatives. I don't understand our policy in Iran.
Yeah.
It's actually it just seems like it's based off of Trump's will for a legacy of a wartime president and a fighter and a soldier. So
A soldier.
I just don't understand it.
Well, if you don't understand it, you may be slow. Did you when you were in school? Was your school bus a full-length school bus, or was it like a short school bus?
It was a full-length one.
Really? Okay. Were there any kids on the bus that had to wear helmets?
Some of them did.
Okay. So you're okay. That answers my question. That's interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so I guess I'm right. So you don't understand. So you are slow.
Could you explain to me how our intelligence community has denied and said that Iran was not racing to a nuclear bomb? And even if they had a nuclear bomb, they would not be the first country in the world to have a nuclear bomb.
Who in the intelligence community said that?
Tulsi Gabbard and a multitude
No.
of other.
She was wrong.
Tulsi Gabbard never said that.
Excuse me. I just want to point out, if you discredit her just because she's...
I'm not discrediting her. I'm discrediting you.
How are you discrediting me when I'm just listening to what Tulsi Gabbard
Because you're making up facts. Because you're making up facts. That's why.
Okay, I am not making up that she said that Iran, we did not see any evidence that says Iran was building a
Well,
bomb.
I'm going to answer your Tulsi Gabbard comment, okay? Now, did you see that she was in the news over the weekend, caller?
Like I said...
No, hold on a second. Did you... You're talking about Tulsi Gabbard. Did you see that she was in the news
So
over...
now you have a conspiracy theory that she's working for some tribe in Hawaii.
No,
Come on, man.
Did you see what she was in the news for over the weekend?
The answer is no.
Okay, you didn't hear...
Yes, I did. So what? That she was working...
Then tell us what she said.
What was she in the news for over the weekend, caller? You said you saw it.
Okay, I saw an article. I mean, it might not be the exact news that you guys saw.
What did she say in the article that you're referring to?
Let me speak. I am trying to say it. So, I heard that she was being controlled by some guy in Hawaii.
No. The story over the weekend, okay, her brother was arrested and charged in Honolulu. This was over the weekend. This story was all over the place. Her older brother was arrested and charged in Honolulu over the weekend with second-degree custodial interference for allegedly trying to lure several children to his hotel room by offering them money and gum. So what I'm telling you is that she's a security risk. She's compromised. You can't trust anything she says involving national security. That's probably why she's left. The other story was probably a cover story. She probably left the Trump administration because of this.
Are you serious?
This story's over the weekend. Yeah, her brother. It's in the Honolulu Star Tribune. I'm reading it from.
Dude, I'm just really worried for you. Like, you're this ignorant towards political...
yeah, but you went to school on a bus with kids that had to wear helmets. So that tells us about... I should be concerned about you.
So you're telling me, because of her actions of her brother, and mind you, half of the Trump administration is in the Epstein files and probably...
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Okay, but what does her brother have to do with foreign policy?
What it has to do is...
What does a pedophile in Hawaii have anything to do with what I just talked about Iran?
Because...
That is my problem with you guys.
What?
You guys are not facing reality. And as a Republican, I don't understand.
Oh, you're a Republican?
This is embarrassing.
You're a Republican.
Yes.
You voted for Trump?
I voted for Trump.
3 times?
Yes.
3 times or...
What, 3 times? What does that have? I voted for him this last time.
Oh, but not the first 2.
No, not the first.
Who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for the other times? Mrs. Clinton and Biden?
No, I voted for Bernie.
You voted for Bernie Sanders, the communist anti-Semite.
And that is your problem. See, there's one thing that you guys are misrepresenting and not understanding. You guys call these guys
What would that be?
progressive.
What's the one thing we're
You guys
missing?
call them communists. And it just reminds me, like the Republicans, you guys are acting as if like...
No, you said you're one of us. You just said you voted for... You said you were a Republican. And then you just said you Republicans. Which is it? Your story's not holding up, man.
See, what I meant by that was you Republicans. I meant that.
Well, what do you mean? You meant as opposed to what you
let me
what you
finish.
said?
Oh my
So
goodness.
you guys are strictly. You guys won't follow Trump no matter what mistakes he does. You guys will never be critical. You guys won't put your critical thinking cap on. You guys have left the Republican Party and joined a cult.
What really?
That's all
But you vote for Bernie Sanders, who's a communist.
So I'm supposed to be
And Bernie Sanders endorsed a Nazi.
10 years ago?
Bernie Sanders endorsed a Nazi.
Who's the Nazi?
Graham Plattner. Bernie Sanders endorsed Graham Plattner. Well, you're quoting people. You're using people as credibility who endorse Nazis and whose brothers are accused of picking up children.
Brian, let him talk.
Well, we got a break. So
If you would be so kind, let me ask you a question. So you said Graham Plattner is a Nazi. He has a Nazi tattoo.
he says he's a Nazi.
Okay, sure.
Well,
okay.
if a guy is a Nazi,
okay, we'll accept that. I'll accept that. Which you're literally misstating facts. That never came out of his mouth.
It came.
I think our service members that served in the military need to be respected a little bit more.
Really?
Okay.
Lee Harvey Oswald was in the military. All right, we got to run for a break. All right, Steve, I'm going to put you and everyone on hold. And, I'm going to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. That's right. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll go back to the phones after the break. You know, Jupiter Joe Thomas, you know, he was in studio with me on Fridays. Did you guys catch that show? You know, annuities are absolutely amazing. I mean, you got to think about this. You invest your money in an annuity, no matter what happens in the market, your money's never at risk, and you get a check deposited into your bank account each and every month for the rest of your life. Isn't that great? Joe Thomas calls it mailbox money, and I've met so many of our listeners over the time that Joe Thomas has been with us that have become clients of his, and they love it. You know, it's they know that money's coming every month. I've talked to listeners of all different types of income brackets, some of them very wealthy people, and some of them working middle-class people. And I asked them all the same thing. What do you like best about annuities? No matter what their income level is, they all tell me the same thing, that monthly check. You know, and that's great. You get that other revenue stream coming in, and you can retire with knowing you can afford to live the life you want to live. Call Joe Thomas and schedule your no-charge consultation. When you call and you have your consultation, he will put together a custom proposal for you based on your situation, okay? Give him a call, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back. Okay, if you're on hold, guys, hang in there. All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca. William Youngerman, how are the metals opening up the week?
Opening up a little lower, although earlier this morning we were up nicely. The markets on Friday trading in a very large range. Gold hitting a low of $3,959 on Friday and a high of $4,025, and closed at near the highs at $4,017.30. That was up $42.10. That could be the beginning of a bottoming process. We still have to wait for a couple more days to see how these markets work, but for the time being, that was a reversal. Silver was up 44 cents at $55.83. Platinum closed out the week at $1,590, which was down $23, and palladium was down $1 at $1,230. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $39.82 on the low and $4,041 on the high, and we were up earlier this morning, but it seems like we pulled back now to down $7.30 at $4,010. Silver up 87 cents at $56.70 the ounce. Platinum down $10 at $1,580. And palladium up $7 at $1,237. So we're starting out the week a little mixed on the metals, but looking for possibility of a bottoming process here to take place, and metals start moving back up slowly.
Yeah, and these are the days when you're super busy over there, because people that are into the metals, these are the days they start loading up.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
they are, and we are seeing that the supplies of physical metals have dwindled quite a bit since these prices have come down, and
really?
The shelves are emptying out very quickly. So premiums could start going back up very quickly here.
But at William Youngerman's, everything is available for immediate delivery, so you won't have those issues. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. Stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can also call him toll-free 800-327-5010, 800-327-5010, and find William Youngerman's phone number and address on his website, williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
All right, take care. All right, and our number, you back with us, Steve? Okay, good. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. Hold on, Steve, while I answer these phones that are coming in. Okay, all right. You want to take some more calls, Steve?
Sure.
Didn't I tell you that the men in this audience today, there's a lot of unhinged people out there. It's the...
Well, it makes for good talk radio.
Well, you know, I know people talk about chemtrails, and I've always been I've always questioned that. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe the chemtrails are dropping some chemical that causes Trump derangement syndrome suffering outbreaks. Let's see. Let's go. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Michael's from, where am I? Coral Springs.
You're asking me.
Two things.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, come on. Don't worry. I'm not one of them. I like, first of all, the guy you called a narcissist earlier.
Yes.
All right? I want to let him know, don't give us that primary colors BS with it turns purple. There's plenty of us on the right that despise what the left is doing.
Absolutely.
Okay? We're not getting along, all right? So don't let that fool you. Another thing, for that piece of human fecal matter, Renee, who wants Iran to win, okay? Listen, guy, what you did, Brian, was brilliant. When you shut him up and asked him, who do you want to win, you could hear the conflict. He just short-circuited.
Yeah,
he
he
got
did.
quiet. He was like, that's not the point. Or, well, we shouldn't be there. Just answer the damn question, Renee. And then he goes and says, Iran, that's despicable, man. And these people vote. It's disgusting. There's
Well,
people like you in
but
this
you know,
country.
I'll tell you.
Let me inject a thought here. Is that any different than all the Democrats in Congress who are rooting for us to fall on our face so they can gain an advantage in the upcoming election? Is it any better what Renee? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no better, but they're not on the show.
And they're not saying that, right? I mean, I had to pull it out of him. He said, "Yes, I want Iran to win." It was, and he was like adamant.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It was a great question, and you could tell he just couldn't bring himself to say he wants America to win, because that would be showing any kind of semblance of a support for Trump.
The Democrats in Congress.
He couldn't admit it in short.
Yeah. No, he did it. He said it. He said, "Yes." He yelled it. It was Steve.
Finally.
It was like I was like Tom Cruise with Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. I finally pulled it out of him, and he just had a meltdown.
Oh, did he? I didn't hear that part. He finally said America?
No. He said no. Of course he wants Iran to win. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
But you should have heard when Doc called me over the weekend on my show on YouTube. Oh my goodness. You heard.
He's a buffoon.
Doc revealed what he's really like. Yeah, I mean, and today's just been a weird day. Greg too, disguising his voice earlier in the show. I mean, it's just been a strange thing. All right, I appreciate the call. All right, he's not the first caller to try to disguise their voice, but I'm not going to tell you guys how I knew that was him. But I knew. Oh my goodness, I've developed a good ear, Steve, over the years for these guys. It's just. I don't know. You know, people should be feeling good. Everything's going well. We've won the war with Iran. Iran says so, right? I mean, you know, it's all good news. The president looked great. I didn't watch the World Cup. I saw the president and Tom Cruise there, and they both looked great. You know, that was nice. You know, America's in a good spot right now. And you know what's going to happen with these Democrats the day after the midterm elections, and we've won. It's going to be a rough day for Democrats in America, Steve.
We gotta hope so.
Yeah.
If it's a bad day for Democrats, it'll be a good day for America.
That's right. That's right. But you know, a lot of when's the last time you heard someone say the party in power historically loses the midterms? I haven't heard that in like 6 months. You know, it's like they've given up. Hold on, let me answer these phones that are coming in. The phones are ringing off the hook. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good day, Brian. Good day. That was pretty funny with Greg too. After he said it, I knew it too. He didn't say his name in the beginning. I think that was pretty hysterical. I rewound it during the live show.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And listened to it again.
Yeah.
Imagine that guy is your attorney having time to call.
Well, I appreciate. I've got to pat myself on the back for that one, because he did not. Yeah. I mean, when I caught him, that was the best. That was the best. Oh.
And I listened to your show live yesterday with Woodstock.
Oh.
And I always knew he was an alley cat in that kind of a way, and he, these kind of people will be in your face and pointing their finger in your face if you like.
I cannot say what Doc said to me on the radio, but as nasty as callers have been over the years, Steve, I don't think you or I have ever had a caller say to me what Doc said to me, and he said it twice.
It was beyond.
I can't tell you. You guys got to listen to the show on my YouTube channel. I can't say it's against the law to say it on the radio, Steve. It's really bad. It was really bad.
Here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line in Iran. Bottom line is this. Trump's going to have to trust someone when they start digging out the nuclear stuff. He's going to have to trust someone to guard those people with the machinery to digging it out. So who is going to protect them? Are we going to put special troops there, and then the news media going to want to run
exactly.
with that and say, he put boots on the ground,
exactly.
And they want to try to use that narrative. No, but if we can trust the Saudis, Turkey, and Iraq to get in there and protect them. This is what they've been protecting all along.
Well, listen, we're running to. I gotta run because we're getting close. But I appreciate the call and the compliments. A lot of things make the Steve Kane Show different than any other radio show ever. This is the only show where callers actually do commercials for us. We have you hear a lot of endorsements for different sponsors of ours. from listeners who have a good experience, of course, with the sponsors we recommend. And we started doing something new that also no one has done. We have sponsors doing endorsements and commercials for other sponsors. Dr. Appleton does a commercial for Tom Laporta. He got a roof from Tom Laporta, and 3 or 4 other people in his family have as well. And he does a great commercial. Well, Friday, Jupiter Joe Thomas was in studio with me, and he was telling me about the great experience that his wife had with Dr. Appleton. The Saturday before this last, Jupiter Joe Thomas, his wife has some issues with her legs, and he took his wife to see Dr. Philip Appleton for some treatment for her leg pain and leg issues. She saw relief after the very first treatment, and you'll hear that commercial on the air soon, probably later this week. He was on the air with me live talking about it. And, Dr. Appleton, what Jupiter Joe said, he says he cares about his patients, and he sure does. And, you will find very few doctors that you go and visit that don't have one foot out the door as soon as they walk in. I hate when you're in an exam room, you've waited for hours, and the doctor comes in to see you, and he's got one hand on the doorknob the whole time, right? Not Dr. Appleton. He takes time, not just for the examination and to treat you. And by the way, Dr. Appleton performs all the robotic laser treatments himself, not an assistant. He takes the time with you, and he does incredible work. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain, too. Remember, appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays, okay? And the consultation's free. If you have scans or x-rays, bring them with you. Dr. Appleton will gladly look them over. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, well, we don't have time for any more calls today, Steve, but if you're on hold, stand by. You'll be first in line on the show tomorrow at 6 a.m. When we return, and whatever is in the water of this audience that's caused this Trump derangement syndrome outbreak in America, hopefully it lasts, because those calls are pretty interesting, Steve. I like those Trump derangement callers.
They're fun.
Well, they let me know that we're okay and we're well grounded when I hear these, and it also lets you know that teenagers and Gen Z, they're not the only snowflakes. We got a lot of middle-aged and senior citizens who are snowflakes too, as you heard today. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve's been here. I'm Brian Craig. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Take care. All right, guys. Hey, listen, if you're new, welcome to the show. And make sure you subscribe, guys. I'm here 7 days a week, every morning of the week. And during the week, most every afternoon, including this afternoon. Okay, so I'll see you then. And before you go, everyone, please like the video. When you like the video, it gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So please like the video. It really helps a lot.